What's up, chat? I think I'm done. I can't draw another picture ever again. I made a horrible mistake in starting both a picture that involves drawing vehicles and mecha at the same time, starting a different picture that involves 40k characters. I have sapped all joy of drawing from my life. What's up, guys? How is everyone doing today? Should Hilda's leopard print underwear be visible from her shorts? Personally, I think Hilda wears tasteful black thongs. The most efficient form of underwear when satisfying men after you lose to them in Pokemon battles. Is this an ice Pokemon agent LMAO? I don't even understand the ice reference. Are the ice agents in the news for doing like photo opportunities or something? DHS used the Pokemon theme in Ice Deportation Raid video because they're fucking ghouls. I feel like that's the defining factor between the current Trump state and like classic fascism, and that classic fascism took itself seriously, whereas the current version of Republican fascism thinks everything is a fucking meme. Except Charlie Kirk, I guess. Who are they trying? They're trying to lionize and turn into a martyr. But it's all like, haha. Look, guys, look how funny we are. Except, ironically, Charlie Kirk became like the biggest meme of them all, considering he was being shot by a memed shooter. Like, everything is a fucking meme nowadays. Jesus Christ, people. How am I supposed to meme on the internet? As a professional memer, like, I don't want to be competing with various political assassinations and stuff who are including memes on their fucking bullet casings. Pokemon today? I don't know. I was feeling like there's not enough Hilda porn. To which you people would be like, but wait, there's a million tons of Hilda porn. But I feel like when our AI prompter senpais start making Pokemon porn, there should at least be like 2 images of Hilda porn for every other Pokemon girl. Just based on the character designs. Also, I'm really practicing drawing zoomed out right now. I've come to the conclusion that the way to draw quickly is to only really care about general broad shapes and stuff, and not give a single fuck about like zooming in and properly drawing details and shit. I think that's the only way in which I'll be able to draw faster. And also I'm using crayon now. This also increases my speed because it makes me not care as much about how sharp my lines are, which is one of the huge reasons why I would often end up redrawing a picture a million times. You can draw a slightly better hand. That's like drawing in real life feels like, BB. Ball discovers that water is wet. Shut the fuck up, people. If you guys didn't want me to draw a billion fucking details, you wouldn't keep on requesting me to draw 40k content, for fuck's sake. I just said I don't want to draw details. How the fuck am I supposed to draw something that looks like fucking this without drawing a million fucking details? Stupid fucking requesters. Being like, haha, I've seen a lot of YouTube videos, I know how to draw. That's what they tell you in your YouTube videos. Like, yeah, no shit, I took drawing courses myself, but I wasn't like forcing myself to actually work fast until now. But I'm like, I've reached the point where like I have to start like actually considering like every single option, because I'm not going to be able to make it unless I really do like start changing my work process instead of using what I've done until now. Maybe we'll only draw a little bit of facial details using pen. I don't even know if I have to do that. Do you like 40K? Not really. My requesters sure like 40K though. We would be happy with just plain gray texture and some rivets. Figuring out how to abbreviate details in the right way is also a skill in itself, which I haven't really mastered at all. But maybe it's time to try figuring that shit out. Like, fucking look at what I've been trying to draw right now. The fucking motorcycle. And I'm like, how do I draw this engine part in perspective? How does this go to this? How are the lines connected to what? Is there fucking wires here? And I'm like, I don't want to draw this anymore. And then I was like, okay, I'll start something new. And then I'm like, oh, wait. I have to draw, like, fucking the purity, chastity seals on everything. I have to draw a skull here. I have to draw another skull here. I have to draw, like, fucking wings here. I have to color everything black. Oh, fuck me. You know? That's why you must draw 100 cubes. I can draw cubes in perspective, but... Has any of you guys actually done, like, the draw a box curriculum shit? I'm interested if that shit actually works or not. Like, I'm not actually thinking of doing it myself because I can already, like, draw boxes in perspective, but... Like, if you actually start from an amateur and you do, like, the fucking 4chan IC meme of drawing 10,000 boxes, did that actually teach perspective to any of you? Because I'm highly skeptical about it. Like, I feel like it makes sense from a purely theoretical standpoint, but I don't know if that actually teaches you how to, like, feel three-dimensional space if you actually try and do it, like, starting at nothing. That feels like a beginner trap, honestly, if you ask me. It's not a perspective course. Drawing boxes is most definitely a perspective course. I don't know if they teach you perspective or not, but they're trying to teach you perspective. There's no reason why you should draw 10,000 boxes if you're not learning how to draw objects in three-dimensional space, which is what perspective is. It's a geometry course, actually. The whole point of draw a box, and I know nothing about draw a box, is so you can do this shit, right? Straightforward box in front of you. Box slightly above you. Box even further above you. Vanishing point. All the lines go into the vanishing point. To be able to kind of feel this type of space shit without having to do all the stuff and so on. Like, this is the whole point of draw a box, isn't it? It's helping me, but for some reason deconstruction has helped me more than drawing boxes, in my opinion. So like the idea is that if you can draw, you can visualize the space by drawing boxes. You can also kind of understand like, okay, here's the ground plane, and then now I can draw the human torso is like this, is bending a little, and then the head is slightly like this. And then the waist is like this, and so on. But I have yet to see someone who's like, oh, I did draw a box for like. I haven't found like a person who's like, I started by not being able to draw anything, and then I started by doing draw a box first, and then as a result, I'm this good. Because I feel like people who actually like decide to do shit like draw a box, by the time they get there, they've already been drawing for many years. Because no one's motivated to fucking draw boxes, right? So it's kind of impossible to find someone being like, I don't know how to draw, and I heard this is like the fastest way to learn how to draw, so I'm going to start by drawing boxes. Like everybody starts by drawing fucking Goku on their like sheet of paper while they're supposed to be concentrating in math class, right? Great fix. Didn't fix the fucking typo. Depends on you mental. Some people find drawing boxes as an easier constructing figure to build other stuff around. Honestly, I don't even think it matters if shit is in perspective or not. Like, fuck that. I've reached the point where I don't want to study shit anymore. Because I've been studying shit for like the last like month. Ever since I've finished manga chapter 4, I've been in a study all this stuff again that I've been ignoring for a long time mode, and I'm kind of sick of it now, which is why I'm doing speed drawing. Honestly, as someone who wants to do manga instead of be like an illustrator or anything, it's not even clear if being good at drawing makes any fucking difference in manga, right? We're living in a world in which one of the most celebrated manga artists is Fukumoto, so in manga, basically all you have to do is be able to draw the primary emotions that the story is supposed to evoke, which in the case of kaiji and shit is like the zawa zawa emotion. So as long as Fukumoto can draw zawa zawa emotion, it doesn't matter if he can't draw a single fucking thing in perspective. Although he can do some amount of perspective, but I think that's a lot of that is just his assistance, honestly. Look at the world of webcomics. Yeah. People find a doodle that drawn by like a 5-year old just as cool as like a properly drawn shit. It's when you get into that like in between zone when it's drawn by someone who's trying to be like a proper artist but doesn't actually know how to do that yet is when people are like, man, this art sucks. You don't need to know anatomy for a start. That kind of might be my problem. If we're looking at the type of shit I've been drawing for the last week and a half or so. We're going fucking full morpho recently. We're being like, oh, how do I do the fucking arm rotation and shit? How do I do a flexion fold? What are the specific muscles of the back and stuff? Toriyama studies right here. The way you do your mannequins reminds me of the artist Mobius. Is that intentional? It's not intentional. It's because Mobius probably did morpho shit as well. We're probably just using the same references. I know this is hard to understand, but there was a lot of like art stuff before the like 10 artists that are always referenced every single time we talk about good comic artists and stuff like that. Mobius, Otomo, Toriyama, etc. You know, we had the whole like Salon and stuff like that, the French academies and shit. So it always ends up going back to that stuff because they were probably using, at least if you're a Western artist, you're probably using the type of like French and Russian art academy content for your own studies. So if you guys don't know what I'm talking about when I say Morpho, Morpho is the one of the most popular art books, but it shows you all the fucking specifics, and they actually give you like all the names of the different muscles and shit, and it's drawn in pencil, so it's kind of easy to understand in terms of like, because it's drawn for artists. Yeah, and there's like a bunch of books on that, which of course have been fucking pirated to hell online. Piracy is bad, guys. Don't ever use it. We do not support piracy in this stream, Twitch. You can find 90% of art books on eHentai, yes. And yet, among the people who browse eHentai, the number of them who can actually draw so low. How can this be? What am I trying to draw here? I think one of the reasons why up till now I wasn't using any art books and like not properly studying anatomy is because I didn't want to become the meme of like you have like 700 pages of art books pirated on your computer, but you don't actually, draw that meme. But it's kind of like we're in all hands on deck, have to use like every option available right now because drawing chapter 4 of the manga, I was like, there are so many parts of my art portfolio that are deficient that I need to get better at like right now, like backgrounds being the obvious one, but no one wants to learn art. Is it any surprise that there's so many AI art chads out there being like, artists are dead? Who the fuck wants to draw like 500,000 figure studies just so you can draw a human figure properly in perspective and shit? And yet, none of these AI artists have any kind of following or any like professional works and stuff. Shocking. It turns out that people don't want to give money to someone who is just typing a few sentences in a computer and having the computer spit out shit. Going to conventions and selling AI art for max profit. I feel like the people who. The funny part is, I was getting YouTube videos recommended of AI artists going to conventions and selling AI art, but like the people who were talking about it were people who did like Disney art for like a Disney trading card and stuff. And if you're drawing like Disney art, you have to draw like 100% according to their predetermined rules of like how you're supposed to draw these characters. So it's like completely indistinguishable from every other Disney art. And I'm like, how is this any different from AI art, you know? Like, the only difference is that you're doing this shit manually instead of having them spit it out using a machine. You're not allowed to have any kind of self-expression. You're just supposed to draw Ariel or Alice or whatever completely according to whatever, like, predetermined guidelines that Disney sets out. If someone was like, Mr. Art Festival, what is it, Convention San, I like your Ariel, but I want her to have like a giant giga triple D cup boobs. Can you draw that? They can't be like, oh yeah, sure. I'll make Ariel have huge, massive honkers. No, they have to they're still like bound by IPs and stuff. Like I don't fucking understand. Like why would anyone want artists from that person in the first place is one thing. The thing is there's been a lot of completely soulless versions of art in the art world for a long time, even before AI. A lot of animation is basically that, right? Your job is to trace in betweens. You're like an industrial cog in the machine. As I say, as I draw, another IP myself, but also the number one reason why I wasn't like using any art tutorials up until now is because I don't want people to tell me what to do. Someone's like, "Oh, you should draw this way." I'm like, "Shut the fuck up, bitch. I'll decide how I want to draw. I don't need how you to tell me how to do anything." Isn't the whole point of art is having like a blank canvas where you can do whatever the fuck you want? That's what we teach our 5-year-olds. So why as an adult do we have to suddenly start being like, oh, I need to properly follow all these rules and stuff like that? There needs to be trial and error to a degree. Honestly, what the most difficult part about art is that there's no like correct answer anymore. Like you can do whatever you want. However, there are incorrect answers. That's the thing. There's no like correct answer, but there's a lot of incorrect answers. If people look at your art and they're like, I don't like it, then that's you've ran into the one of the incorrect answers. But there isn't necessarily some like one correct answer on what people will enjoy to look at. Don't look up Loomis head tutorials if you're starting art. I don't know. I feel like Loomis is a fine starting point. It's like pretty fucking pretty fucking basic. You have to draw. You have to draw so much too. How the fuck am I ever supposed to reach platinum in League of Legends if I have to draw 10 hours every day to get good? If you have to take a break for 3 days, you have to take another 3 days to remember how to draw. I've heard that so many times, and I've never felt that that's true. I think that's total bullshit. I think that's complete propaganda. I've taken breaks from drawing for pretty long periods, pretty often when I want to play like video games nonstop, and I don't think it has really affected my process that much. At least not in a noticeable way, in which I'm like, oh shit, I don't know how to draw this anymore. Like I've never actually felt that way. I feel like that's just propaganda where they want to keep you to buying their fucking draw box courses. I've never been like, oh no, I can't draw anymore because I haven't drawn in like 5 days. Like, what the fuck? What are you talking about? It's like riding a bicycle. You don't completely forget how to like ride a bicycle. I'll tell you shit that I do forget if I don't do it for a few days. The fucking button commands of whatever MOBA character I've only played like 4 or 5 times. And then they're like, "Oh, we need you to play mid lane." And I'm like, "I don't fucking know how to play mid lane. Fuck." Damn, I only wanted him doing the thumbs up pose, but I can't really fit it in anatomically wise without actually like figuring out. He has to have his arm and shoulder down way bit like this. Yeah, I think it's probably better if he we're just going like down here, and then we'll have him doing the peace sign. Are you still determined to move to Japan? Wouldn't you like to try your luck in Western Hemisphere first? What's the fucking difference? A, I've been in the Western Hemisphere for a very long time. B, I have to move to Japan because my mother is kicking me out of the house because construction is going to start. So I make all of my money online. I don't do anything in the physical world. I could live with my father, but my father has a house in Washington D.C. area, which is currently a police state thanks to Trump. So I'm not exactly looking forward to living there for like an entire year. That fucking sucks. So also my father has remarried, so while I don't necessarily have a bad relationship with quote unquote my stepmother, it could still be slightly awkward. I'd rather be in Japan. Are you gonna have to pay rent? I'm gonna pay a little bit of rent. Probably not full price. Well, this is what I have savings for. Don't go there, please God. That is a hot pot. Better off in Japan. I never enjoyed being in DC when I visited my father, even before the Trump administration. So I definitely won't be enjoying it now. I can guarantee that. What would be better than seeing Trump's alcoholic cabinet at your local cabinet steakhouse? Jesus Christ, I'm sleep deprived. Also, if you're having difficulty drawing, it's probably because you haven't slept enough. I think you need to have at least like 8 hours sleep if you want to be able to draw properly. Like, it's way more sleep dependent than like other shit in life, honestly. Whatever part of your brain is required to like generate images and shit, I think it's highly sleep dependent. Unless you're a mangaka, you trade in lifespan instead. You just don't have to be a. You have to just not be a weekly mangaka. For those of you who have noticed, your favorite Edo mangaka doesn't have necessarily a new chapter in every single magazine, monthly magazine. When you pick up the new copy of monthly Giga Milkers in Japan, Big Dick Oppai Taro, your favorite Edo mangaka, they don't have a chapter every single week, you know. Can you draw Forsen drowning in lava next? I don't know what Forsen looks like, so it's impossible. Also, I'm not allowed to draw horse cocks on stream. Can you draw Isabelle from Animal Crossing holding an oversized heavy machine gun? I just said I was trying to not draw details. Can you draw a 7-foot Subway sandwich held by Jill Valentine as a reward for my 7-stream watch streak? Isabel with a prison shank. That is definitely easier to draw than a heavy machine gun. How do you guys feel about this beautiful image of a Starbucks coffee machine? This is what the internet is going to look like going forward. Just vague, disembodied leaves floating in the air in a weird way on loop with fucking Starbucks logos melting and merging. At least this one is okay, but these ones are like fucking exploding right here. Weird armrest heights. Fucking butterflies that are pollinating these autumn leaves for some reason. Tiny fucking pumpkin jack-o'-lanterns. This thing that is some kind of pastry but not really a pastry. This tree that is growing out of the middle of either a river or like solid fucking pavement. For some reason there's a croissant or a scone in a glass container on the top of the coffee maker. And of course all the song itself is AI as well. Forget the espresso, just shove a muffin into the brewer. That's how these things work, guys. Do 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 do. Cottagecore garbage. Do you guys have any actual like easy listening music suggestions you want me to play that isn't gonna get the stream muted? What lazy fucks? Holy shit! LOL. I mean, it's AI. It is what it is. Miles Davis. Do you think like classic jazz actually 80s Japanese city pop? If you do YouTube search for 80s Japanese city pop, you'll get 8,000 80s Japanese city pop inspired AI music channels. Persona music. We can do video game music, I'm pretty sure. Extra tone. Persona chill music. Alright, guys, what should I draw? You fucking debated us? What? I would never draw something like that on a Twitch stream. I was always planning to draw Dale the Trucker Man. Let's make sure he has a American flag. Lorax looking. The Lorax speaks for the trees. Draw an image of Sanji gently caressing Zoro's massive man titties. One Piece without actually looking at One Piece characters is always an interesting concept. We can do that. Topical considering this week's social media meltdown with some idiot anime influencer trying to say One Piece isn't political. Huh. You have to be pretty fucking stupid to not notice that there's no political themes in the manga about a giant corrupt global government ruled by like a aristocratic class that's allowed to go around and rape and kill people whenever they want, and then the good guys of the story are pirates. You have to be like, huh, you really have to turn those neurons off to the maximum degree if you're not noticing some sort of political themes there, I think. I can't even remember which side Sanji's hair is on. and which side you can see his eye. Is it the left side in which you can see his eye? Subtext is for cowards. Real artists like Kojima use Dom text. Honestly, if Oda would do like a 50-minute monologue every chapter explaining what was going on, the anime producers would be extremely grateful because they wouldn't have to like animate as much shit. It covers the left eye. All right. I hope that Wano place is not based on a real place. I'm not sure what's worse, everything is political or nothing is political. I mean, does it even. The question is, like, why does it even matter if everything is political or nothing is political? The only reason people say that in the first place is when they're like, oh, please don't bring your politics into my anime or whatever. They just don't want you to be just discussing whatever information is ahead of them. It's like, it's just code for I'm busy trying to focus on my yaoi male preg shipping content right now. Yaoi male preg content, also political, by the way. Do we really have a population crisis? Maybe men can just get pregnant. I can never really figure out the elbow angle, what it's supposed to look like when the arms are in different angles. Bowser's fascist capitalist structures are preventing the Mushroom Kingdom from becoming a truly anarcho communist utopia. Isn't it Peach's problem, though? Oh god, English dub. What the fuck? Who the fuck would ever play Persona with an English dub? Fucking disgusting. I can learn to forgive my enemies, but not the English dubbers. If you ever watch anime with the dub, you deserve every horrible thing that comes to you. I think most do actually. We need to go back. I enjoyed the Stories English dub silliness for a while, and then I ended up just watching it in Japanese. See, this is about the level of drawing at which I want to draw, honestly. I don't want to properly draw anatomically correct bodies in 3D space. I feel like the drawing level of Usopp and Choppa that I just did is more than valid. I don't know if I can draw Nami because I can't remember her hairstyle for both her pre-time skip and post-time skip. She just looks like a vague female. She doesn't have enough. See, that's why we call it Nami face, right? Because there's Nami doesn't have enough defining characteristics compared to like every other female that ever appears that isn't Robin. Like I can fucking draw Robin because I just put like this central line in her face and it indicates the fact that she has that nose detail. But for like Nami, it's like what the fuck? What kind of characteristics does she have? We have to make sure that Sanji is actually properly, visibly, noticeably pregnant, or it won't be cursed enough. Always did love Robin's design. I always liked Robin's design because she was a bad bitch that gets dick corrected by Luffy's kindness. I don't know. Actually, I'm not really sure why she's tagging along to Luffy in the first place. I feel like she can do better. Honestly, I only care about the Miss All Sunday version of Robin. I don't really care about any other version. God, what a masterpiece. Honestly, I don't think I'll ever be able to draw a better picture than this Usopp drawing in my entire life. Look at the fucking soul. The expression that the Usopp face conveys as he stares at the male preg situation of Sanji. It conveys so much deep emotional turmoil. One Piece Sanji male preg ending. I've done it, guys. I've created my magnum opus. She's Italian. There was that. Did you guys see the one photo where somebody found like the specific model that Oda probably based Robin off of? Let's see if I can actually find it if I just Google it on the Japanese internet. Because they found like one where everyone was like, I'm pretty sure this is it. Because they couldn't figure out who it was. You know, like a lot of the other characters are pretty obvious. Especially like all the marine generals and stuff. Uh, so people are saying that it's Uma Thurman from Pulp Fiction, but that's not what I was talking about. Oh, maybe the it's gone. There was like one period in which not only did they find like the actress that looked like it, but there was like a photo where she was wearing the exact same like Miss All Sunday outfit. And it was like, oh god, that's gotta be it. Yeah, it's not showing up. There's so much One Piece content on the internet, it's hard to find stuff that was going around in like 2010. Also, search engines are getting worse, so. Hold on, I have to go take a piss. I'll be back in a minute. You guys, uh, you guys figure out what I should draw next. Type it in chat. Uh, uh, uh. Okay, let's have some. Let's get some dwarf content. Oh, English dubbing. Oh, fuck. Oh, make it stop. Oh. Oh, God. Oh, why are they speaking in English? No. Skullface was right in Metal Gear Solid 5. Oh, wait. I think it was the opposite. Skullface was trying to kill everybody who doesn't speak the English language, or was he trying to kill everybody that does speak the English language? I can't remember which it was. I never plan to play Metal Gear Solid 5, by the way, because I can't seem to get through Ground Zeroes. What do you think of people who only play games on easy mode? They should become professional video game journalists. They clearly have a great future in video game journalism awaiting them. You know the Persona 5 nurse or drug woman? You know what fucking bothers me? Look at the positioning of her eyeballs, her jaw, and like the top of her head. So, in generally, the eyes are like halfway through the skull. So, theoretically, her skull should only go up to like here. There's so much like extra fucking space from her eyes to the top of her head. And like, I know we've all been trained by anime. This is especially bad in her standing pose. It goes from here, and here, her skull should be like ending around here at most. So she has like a full second head above where her skull should end. And in anime, like, you're usually, they teach the animators to draw like basically heads that look like this. And then there's like giga hair like this. But I don't like that. I like having the skull perfectly and halfway point because I'm more slightly more realism oriented. But like the Persona 5 Takemi, she really takes it to like a whole nother level, and it bothers the fuck out of me. And a lot of the other characters have like the anime head aesthetic going on, but she has it like the worst, and it pisses me off. She's unfappable for that reason. She has puffed up hair. Maybe she's actually bald from taking too much drugs. And as a result, she has to wear a wig. That's the thing, because you have hair, you can just like puff the hair up endlessly. So this allows the character designers to go like full anime. But I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I fucking hate this song. They're taking a song I love and they're like cutting into a million different pieces and pissing me off. Man, lo-fi easy listening sucks balls. What the fuck? This is why I've just been listening to AI music recently. Jesus Christ. There's so many shitty remix artists on the internet. It's weird because, like, if you're a visual artist and you're just taking, like, another person's picture and then, like, drawing over it and being like, look at this new song I made, people wouldn't be like, oh man, good job, you know? But, like, in music, they're like, no, I'm just sampling, right? It's kind of weird that that's allowed. Have you muted the music? Have I? Here. You guys complaining? You get the full music now. And now I'll have to yell. God, this is the Twitch streamer experience. If the music is too low, people are like, oh, I can't hear the music. The music is too high. People are like, I can't hear you. We still can't hear it? Interesting. Because it's at max right now. Uh, uh, uh. I wonder what's going on then. It's not the volume. Check your scenes. Scene 2. I don't understand how to use OBS. What the fuck? Let's go to settings. Settings, audio, mic, desktop audio default, desktop audio 2 default. How about now? speakers. What is my audio set to? Realtek audio second output 8%. How about now? This must be like the update, right? Because you guys had audio in the previous stream, right? How about now? No. How about now? I'm flipping through all the different audio options I have. Weird. I think we had no audio a couple of streams ago when I checked it. Interesting. Can you hear like the ping noise when I change the sound? Check that desktop audio is showing up in your scene. It seems, I mean, I think so. Well, at least the mic is showing up. Weird. Well, I don't know how to fix this. Now we heard something. We heard it for a second. What? Weird. I'm just touching the audio mixer right now. Brip. Huh. It might be easier for me to just like uninstall OBS and just reinstall it. Your sources. You need to add audio source. You know where that is? Is it in settings? In your scene? Fuck. Scenes. Add scene. Order. You don't have any sources. Add source. Audio output? Audio input? Fuck me. Alright. Okay, now how about now? We did it. See, now you guys are immediately complaining about how it's too loud. Can't believe Baal actually managed to troubleshoot. I'm not incredibly incompetent at using computers, just somewhat incompetent. It's just that I don't care if you guys have a good viewing experience or not. Shitty lo-fi music, 100 bits, thank you, bro. It's almost always hilarious when a stream runs into tech issues, so I'm enjoying it. I feel like this is like 90% of Twitch content. It's just people being like, what is going on? Why is the overlay not showing up? We watched several streams with nothing but Baal's soothing hater ASMR. Here I can provide gotchi sound content on my own. Oh! It's so deep. Stick it in the ass. Sorry for what? Deep, dark fantasies. I'm an artist. I'm a performance artist. If you have over 10 viewers consistently, technically you're in the top 100% of Twitch streamers. Congratulations. How is Twitch losing money, guys? We have to show more ads. Like, I don't understand why Amazon doesn't just straight up say the reason why we're losing money is like your fucking channels suck and nobody wants to see you and you're wasting our server space. So if you're not moist critical, you're not allowed to use the platform anymore. None of you guys who think you can make it as the next big streamer are actually gonna make it. But I guess if they said that, that would be too on the nose. God, being a dwarf must be awesome. Imagine just being like short and angry all the time. and just constantly bitter and having a million grudges about how the elves wronged you years ago. I'm sure none of your viewers can relate. Honestly, if you're short in America, you're just by default gonna be angry all the time. Short men are by far the most discriminated class of human beings, probably on the entire planet. Literally nobody feels bad if someone laughs at you for being a short man. They'll just be like, LMAO, just don't be short. I don't know, conservatives seem to think otherwise. They're the most prosecuted class. You're supposed to say Christians if you want to make that argument. No, Christians! They don't let us do whatever the fuck we want to do and pray in schools or do everything. Christians are being murdered this very day, guys. We're in a war of civilizations. The only way you can get even the slightest amount of respect as a short man is you have to have like Prince level charisma and talent. Honestly, it's a confidence thing. I've dated short men, and the only one I've had issue with was the one who yelled at me for wearing high heels. It serves you right for dating Tom Cruise. You knew what you were getting into. Honestly, it was probably better that you dropped him for being short. You would have had to meet his Scientology handlers eventually. You should have shown up in massive stilts like you're a carnival attraction. If your boyfriend is shorter than you, the only way to truly dominate him is by wearing 10-foot tall stilts. You should be about half a head taller than your girlfriend minimum to avoid these issues. Studies show that women prefer roughly that height difference or taller. Yes, just grow 5 inches, bro. Just become taller, bro. Just gotta go for shorter chicks. Dating is so broken. What is this date you speak of? I don't know, but I'm certainly not going on one. Nobody can trick me to go out into the real world. That's them trying to trick you. You must never leave your cave. That's how they get you. If a man is taller than me, I must frog blink at him to maintain dominance. Is that when you blink using your lower eyelids? Pretty much 100% about men's issues with a woman being taller is a reflection of a woman's preference for taller men. Yes. This is definitely true. And pretending it doesn't exist is not a thing. It's very real. And many men have fiddled with their profile on Match.com and verified this. Frog blinking is when you slowly blink one eye, then the other. I would be worried because I think you'd be having a stroke or something. It'd be like, oh no, I hope she's okay. Crazy roulette. You get tall men having children with short chicks, and the draw short straw and gets height after his mother. It's over for him. LOL. Imagine if Shaq had a 5'5" kid. Reminder that this is Otani's wife, who is also like a pro basketball player, who basically has the same fucking facial structure as him, and is like literally half a head taller than him. I don't know how many kids they're having, but the kids are gonna get some real prime fucking genetics out of this one. The game was rigged from the start, guys. You never had any chance when fucking GOAT pitcher hitter fat-faced daddy is having sex with a woman that looks like him and is also his same height. Bro just married his female clone. Yeah. It's pretty funny, isn't it? Just make sure you feed your boys a shit ton of food to maximize his chances of growing tall. Americans try this strategy, got varying results, usually diabetes. Just give them corn syrup, bro. When Americans hear the term varying food, they think like different flavors of candy. They don't think like different nutritious items. Now that we know Tylenol was the problem all along, we'll be okay. That's just only autism prevention, guys. It doesn't stop you from becoming short or retarded, unfortunately. Honestly, the thing about medical stuff is that, as stupid as RFK is, there is like a 5% chance that like whatever Tylenol shit that they decided was the cause might actually be the cause, you know? There's so much stuff that the medical industry gave us that we thought was extremely safe back in the day that turned out was not safe at all, like talcum powder and like DDT, and there's just like a shit ton of stuff where it's like, yeah, go ahead. Fill your house with asbestos. Our boomer parents ate lead and they were fine, okay? List all the shit that we thought was okay back in the day that was not okay. Asbestos, talcum powder, methamphetamine for your wife when she was disobeying and she wouldn't, like, chill the fuck out. Wait, so for 50s Housewives, did they have, like, uppers and downers that they gave them? Or is it just, like... The lemons were downers, right? What kind of drug should I be giving to my trad wife to make her shut the fuck up? I mean, alcohol, obviously. But, cocaine and coke needs to come back for real. Quaaludes and amphetamines. Good. I'll make sure I have both in our liquor cabinet. So that Blanche is happy. Smoke some cigs for white teeth and strong hair, but remember to use your asbestos filter out harmful chemicals. That's right, I forgot cigarettes had asbestos filters, didn't they? Cigarette asbestos filter. Original Kent micronite cigarette filter used dolite, a form of asbestos, from 1952 until mid-1956. Oh shit, there's even ads. Kent. Smokers, here's proof you can see. Kent gives greater protection than any other cigarette. I like how they knew that you were basically killing yourself. So they're like, here's a filter that won't kill you as hard with our micronite fucking filter. How about you just don't smoke? Fucking boomers and the concept of not smoking. It must have been insane if you, like, asked a boomer, like, have you ever considered not smoking? They'd be like, what are you fucking talking about? Is your tablet wireless? The one I'm using right now is wireless. I went through like multiple wired tablets because they're cheaper, and what would happen is I would keep on like getting my leg caught on the fucking wire, and like the wiring that they need is so fucking sensitive. If you bend it even a slight bit, it like fucks shit up. So it's really easy to break that like wiring connection area if you're not careful. So ultimately it ends up being cheaper if you just use a wireless tablet. That's my pro tip, is just buy a wireless one. Because it's really easy to, like, break that shit. It's crazy that Planes in Theaters had ashtrays at one point. That's what gave the movie such soul. When the person smoking in front of you, the smoke was getting in front of the screen. It made Casablanca that much better. I feel like this image is like, she looks like she fucks dwarven men. I agree, brother. I remember times when everything everywhere was slightly sticky from the tar. That era is long gone. Now if you go to the movie theater, everything is only sticky from the corn syrup. The only video game I kind of want at this point is more Etrian Odyssey. And I haven't even played all the Etrian Odyssey games yet. I should get them because they're on Steam. I just want an Etrian Odyssey game with the same character and environment design, but like slightly better graphics. And not on the Switch, because fuck the Switch. I'm not buying a Switch 2. We just need more dungeon games. I don't think I can actually fit the text. That's fine. It's a more usable meme. If there isn't specifically the text written in, then you could use it for anything. I'm waiting for Q3 2026, Onimusha, and that's it. Neo 2 is coming in February, boys. Let's fucking go! Or 3, I guess. Neo 3. I should probably play Deltarune because there's no point in waiting for it to be finished. You think so? I think you should probably wait. I mean, isn't the whole point of, like, why people like the Toby Fox games in the first place was because, like, there was some sort of, like, comprehensive story and, like, different routes and shit like that? Wouldn't it be better if you just played after it was completed? I don't know how Deltarune is being made, but... Is your tablet the Deco medium or large and you tape paper to it? This is the Deco Pro MW. I think that means with a wireless pen tablet. I think that's the larger. I think they only have small and medium. I don't know if they have a large one. And I do have just copy paper taped to it, yeah. I thought people like Undertale because of skeleton sex. I thought people like Undertale because of, like, this is Undine. In the game, right? And then Undine in character art is like... They're like, oh my god, my fish waifu, so sexy. I'm not saving this, by the way. I don't give a fuck about Undertale. And then everyone's like, oh my god, Sans, he's so amazing. He's like the other character. I've seen one YouTube The Undertale Fandom rabbit hole video, and all the things I learned about the Undertale fandom made me believe strongly that I should never ever associate myself with those people. Those people are like the worst part of the internet for me. I don't ever want to touch anything that has to do with Undertale. I've never played the games, and I already know too much about everything, and I don't want to have anything to do with them. I've never heard anyone say Undine like that. Undine, Undine. I think that's a Japanese pronunciation of it. I think they say Undine. They don't say Undine in Japanese, for sure. Every time anyone criticizes Undertale, it's like the game sucks. I hate the fans and never actually about the game, LOL. The game sucks because I don't like timing button presses based on music. Also, I like my video game playthroughs to be about me murdering everything, and then the rest of the world thanking me for my murderous actions. I don't want people being like, you murderer, you killed him! Oh my god, what have you done? I also don't like video games that acknowledge video game mechanics, and that includes you, Miyazaki, in Dark Souls, being like, oh, you're the undead chosen one, that's why you keep on coming back after you die. I'm like, we don't need that extra shit. The reason why you keep coming back after you die is because it's a game mechanic. The fact that you are trying to integrate this into the storyline is actually taking me out of the whole video game itself. It's actually breaking my immersion. Your attempt at increasing the immersion by including the restart mechanic is actually breaking my immersion because you're acknowledging meta aspects. I don't need you to do that. I understand it's a video game and I can restart. And then, like, Undertale is the worst version of that, where they're like, we know that you're restarting the game. Like, shut the fuck up. There's one boss fight that plays like a rhythm game, sort of. Sort of? Are you fucking kidding me? Sort of? Bro. Your fandom's #1 wackiest, wankiest, most beloved fight fucking looks like this. Undertale Sans fight. You fuckers think I can do any of this shit? I am so bad at any timed button presses. If it has anything to do with music. Also, you know what I hate? Characters that speak with, like, Animal Crossing sounds, like I just don't like it. This is the genocide route? Yeah, that's how I like playing my games. Murdering everything. When I play Metal Gear Solid, I fucking get the, like an alligator ending. Because I don't use the non-lethal formats at all. I just shoot people in the head. Anyways, I don't like Undertale. I don't like Earthbound. I don't like Nintendo. I don't like people who like Nintendo. I don't like extremely in-depth fandoms that have like layers and layers of fandoms. I don't like games that have meta-narratives. I fucking hate Assassin's Creed specifically for that reason. I don't like timed button presses. I don't like lengthy videos explaining what's actually going on. I don't like any of that shit. This is your most boomer take yet as far as I'm concerned. You know what video games I do like? Video games that have pretty artwork of a fucking forest that you're supposed to explore. And if you murder every animal that attacks you while you're going through this pretty forest, no one's gonna be like, oh my god, why did you destroy the ecosystem? Oh god. Have you ever considered the implications of these game mechanics that we take for granted? Oh, this game is so fucking deep. What do you like? I like Japanese interpretations of Western fantasy, especially in video game form. So that includes Etrian Odyssey, which is the Japanese reinterpretation of wizardry. That includes, Kamitani stuff like Odin's Sphere and Dragon's Crown. That includes Dragon's Dogma. That includes Dark Souls to some amount. That definitely includes Berserk. It would include Dungeon Meshi, but Dungeon Meshi is a little too dark for my taste. I don't really like the tone of Dungeon Meshi. I feel like I would enjoy it more if it was just sort of lighthearted. Alright, I'll draw one more thing very quickly. What should I draw? In fact, I'll save this. Undertale from memory. Dungeon Meshi is too dark, but Berserk is fine. Berserk is supposed to be dark, and people behave like it's dark. Dungeon Meshi is weird because people behave like it's a silly, funny comedy, but then like people die quickly and stuff like that. Uncle just wants to play wizardry? I do. And so does every other Japanese person, apparently. Draw ogre? I just drew an ogre like 3 days ago, dude. Van Darkholm. Draw a wizard or something. Never play wizardry. Wizardry is just suffering. That's why I like Etrian Odyssey, which is suffering, but slightly easier suffering. Wrestler of choice. That's too much. It's too hard to draw. Alright, let's draw Deedlit. Wizardry 7 or Wizardry 8 was such jank. I love Japan so much because Japanese fantasy is still stuck in Dungeons & Dragons 1st edition and Wizardry. And it's never going to move on from that. If they haven't moved on by now, then the Japanese, like, Western core culture is always going to be those two things, and then also Call of Cthulhu. I was looking for, like, things to watch while I was drawing and stuff. I was like, oh, let's check out the Japanese side of TRPG Let's Plays and see if there's something that isn't as annoying. Because I don't like Dungeons & Dragons podcast in English, but maybe I'll find the Japanese people, the version of that, to be less tolerable. And if you put in TRPG play, Let's Plays in Japanese, like the first 90 results on YouTube are like Call of Cthulhu. That's all they fucking play. You have to like specifically search for Dungeons & Dragons and stuff to find any other like different systems. It's all fucking Call of Cthulhu. Don't ask me why it's that way, it just is. Japanese people just fucking love rolling for their sanity. I don't know. Japan did so much heavy lifting on cyberpunk they can rest on fantasy. What do you mean? Most of fantasy is Berserk dependent in 2025 as well. If you haven't noticed. What great American fantasy has come out recently? Or European fantasy, for that matter. We're not counting Poland here. Do I have to remind you what happens when we allow the Western media to produce fantasy? Dragon Age Veilguard. Trailer. Today I will remind them. Electronic Arts, the seal of quality.
Not looking good, old friend.
Disney quips.
This will take more than you and me.
We must both drink.
What do you think?
Name.
We need someone to be our eyes and ears in the shadows.
Old ugly woman. Check.
Someone to bring a little darkness to the daylight.
Sexy man. Green stuff. Another ugly woman who is also like an Asian looking
A
elf.
lot of buried secrets.
Attractive man. Probably gay.
What about Darkspawn?
Black elf.
Someone who will stand between us and a pack of demons.
You know there will be dragons.
Right.
More Marvel quips.
We'll need someone with fire in their blood.
Don't even need to talk about this character.
This crew needs a leader. Someone we can count
The
on.
chosen one. You.
Someone that the world can count on.
Goddamn, she has a lot of freckles. Drop the chandelier.
Where are we gonna find her?
I've only watched a minute and 40 seconds of the fucking trailer and I'm already finding it to be painful. I have a Dragon's Age Veilguard in my PS Plus collection and I haven't even considered like touching it for even like 5 seconds. It's so bad, holy shit. It's so painful. That's not what I meant with Dark Elves. Let me tell you, there's only one context in which I want my black characters in my Western fantasy, and it's for them to be like these cool ass like Middle Eastern garb. So you can have black or like Arabian characters, but like you have to make them cool guys. Like give them like some sort of like weird headdress. And then like give them like a cool long beard or some shit. This looks more Indian than black, honestly. He could be Ethiopian as well. Give him like a big ass like fucking Zulu spear. What's important is if you're gonna have black characters in Western fantasy, the point is that Western fantasy is supposed to be not, or like Europe adjacent is what I want to say. So if you're gonna have black or Middle Eastern characters, they should be coming from Middle East adjacent country or black or like Africa adjacent country, and then it's fine, right? They can be like a traveling mercenary or some shit. Well, instead of doing that, what they just do is they just take the Western elf, white elf design and just make them black, and that's it. It's like, no, that's not what I want for my fantasy. I want there to be like an idea of like physical location and stuff like that. See, George R.R. Martin understood this perfectly by having Westeros be England, and then if you have non-white characters, they come from non-white locations. Instead of England adjacent, you go to like Mongolia adjacent, or Middle East adjacent, or Egypt adjacent countries. That's all you need to do. Zulu warriors are cool as fuck, because you got like this super long like shields and then like the super long spears and stuff. We need more Zulu warriors in our video games. That shit is cool. Now draw Yoruichi to prove the point better. That's Japanese black. That's like tanned Okinawan shit. That's a different genre in itself. Rare George R.R. Martin win. If only he could beat his closing arteries or whatever. I don't know what health problems he has. I can't believe George R.R. Martin is still alive, to be honest. It's kind of shocking. You're talking about how Arcane did a good job about this, and I haven't watched the anime, so I don't really have any opinion on that, and you might be right about that, but I think the video game itself does a horrible job out of this. Partially because they have a lot of different artists drawing different characters and stuff, but I always thought the League of Legends aesthetic clashed like hell between their different characters. Like the way that some characters were from like the steampunk world and others were from like different areas and shit like that. I always thought it looked really jarring, and it's one of the huge reasons why I never wanted to play League of Legends. Despite the whole fact that, or not despite, more than like all the gameplay aspect and stuff, I never liked the art design. So the current MOBA I'm playing right now, which I shouldn't be, I should be spending all my time drawing. But I'm playing Predecessor, which is the remake of Paragon, which got cancelled because Epic was making too much money from Fortnite. But if you look at the character designs of Predecessor / Paragon, they all work because they're all using the Unreal Engine. So it has that like typical Unreal Engine sheen to it, if you know what I mean. So that creates like, automatically it creates this kind of unifying feel to all the characters, even if they're from different worlds, like one is from Magic and one is from like sci-fi and stuff like that. And it doesn't feel that way for League of Legends. There's something about like the coloring schemes and like the designs that makes it feel like they're not from the unified, the same character design farm, and it really bothers me, and I really don't like it. Oh god, people are actually discussing the League of Legends lore in chat. If you care about a MOBA's lore for more than 5 seconds, you're already losing life. Don't do that, people. It's not worth your time. They don't actually think about that shit when they're designing these characters. They're not like, we must think about the socio-political implications of this new laner. There is extensive lore, dude. Just because the lore exists doesn't mean you should be spending time reading up on it like it means something. Lore only means something when the person who's creating the lore has actually thought through it, and it's going to have long-term implications on the rest of the core meat of the experience, which most of the time it doesn't. If you're actually dealing with lore like George R.R. Martin stuff, where George R.R. Martin made the lore first and is basing a lot of his story around the world building that he did beforehand, then that's fine. Shit like League of Legends definitely is not doing that, and if you tell me that it is, I'm gonna call you out on it. That's bullshit. They are not doing that. 95% of video games, they just slap on the lore afterwards and then wait for people to create their stupid fucking YouTube videos being like, oh, the truth of Dark Souls 2, guys. You'll blow your mind when you learn what Majula really is about. Oh, it's like, no, 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 I don't have time for that shit. As someone who creates stuff, I know bullshit when I see it. You can't fucking trick me. Everything is political. I'm more willing to accept that everything is political discussion than trust me guys, this lore is beautifully crafted. Everything is gonna make sense. And so on and so on. There's only a few things in this world a few media things that deserve for you to spend time on the lore. It's like Lord of the Rings, Game of Thrones, One Piece, except now Oda's probably shitting the bed, so no One Piece now at this point probably. I think One Piece is probably off the list. Maybe like 10 years ago when I actually still had a little bit more confidence in Oda having his like notebook from middle school and actually following that, I might have been given a little bit more confidence, but I don't feel that way about One Piece anymore. Riot literally has positions for historians. That's how much lore they have, LOL. Yes, but that lore doesn't mean anything, dude. Because it's for a MOBA. A MOBA. It doesn't fucking mean anything. It's like how Marvel lore and DC lore doesn't mean anything, because even if character dies, you just have to take it back out again from the toy box, because nothing can ever be permanent. There is no need for a lore if there's no fucking story. Just because you hire a bunch of people to write a bunch of shit doesn't mean anything. Lore is world building, and the entire world of a MOBA is contained in this tiny fucking arena in which characters fight each other for eternity, okay? There is no point for lore other than to make you want to buy some skins every once in a while. I want to know the lore of Ari's tits. Fox girls be like that. They need sex at all times. As human men, it is our job to stick our penis inside Fox girl. They're just trying to convince us that we should do that. Ari's lore is literally killing her lover with her succubus powers and depression. Okay, see why I don't give a fuck about League of Legends lore is? How is that ever going to affect my experience in the actual video game? It's not. Lore only matters if it's gonna affect decisions of the core plot or whatever decisions you make from like a gameplay perspective if it's a video game, or a story perspective if it's a novel or something. So in, for example, Game of Thrones, lore matters because you know that like some characters are going to behave differently because they're from different parts of the world and they have like a history of doing specific things, and one character is gonna like betray another character, and you know that beforehand because you studied the lore, and you know that like this person was insulted by a different character 500 years ago when their house was having like a jousting meet or some shit. This is how the lore actually affects your experience of the story. We can meme on George as long as we want for being fat and not finishing his story and writing incredible passages about dying from dysentery and stuff like that. But you do have to give him credit for like having like a fully fleshed out like history and shit like that that actually affects the storyline. This is not the case for shit like League of Legends, because there is nothing more than actually just playing the MOBA. And that's the whole point of a video game. Morrowind lore is a byproduct of a few guys binging on drugs and writing lore in a drug stupor. And that's fine too, actually, if it works within the context. For Oblivion stuff, what I would tell you to like stop following lore is if people who are being like, oh, I read all of the Morrowind lore, so I'm sure that will be properly applied to Elder Scrolls 6 when it comes out any day now, guys. It's like, no, 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 no. You don't want to be doing that, my friend. That's just a recipe for disaster if you expect lore that was written in the 90s to be applied to whatever video game that you're looking forward to in 2025. None of those people exist anymore in the company. They've all quit and gone somewhere else. Speaking of jousting, would you care about a round of genital jousting, Sir Bud of Bollington? Yes, we must rub our cocks together in a completely heterosexual way, fellow man. Hashtag just heterosexual male activities. Docking isn't gay if we say no homo. We're just rubbing our balls together, guys. We don't need to make it weird. Souls games lore is super awesome. I wish they had books for just that, but how will the YouTubers make money if you can just buy a book? Also, I'm sure they haven't actually thought that shit through. They just have like a vague idea for that stuff as well. People give Miyazaki way too much credit for, like, Souls having, like, incredibly deep lore and shit. Here's a case point, guys. Grok. Let's ask fucking Grok. Grok. Who is Zanzibar in Elden Ring? Zanzibar is a fan-created meme, not a real Elden Ring character, used to satirize FromSoft's vague lore and community's tendency to overanalyze it. Damn, Grok got it right. But what there was the doomed respawning protagonist on quest to continue the cycle. I mean, they just made Armored Core 6 and they didn't have to make him into like an endlessly respawning undead character to make mission failures make sense in the lore aspect. So I wish they just do that going forward. I'm so fucking sick of the whole, you're, you know, undead, blah, 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 that shit. My god, they've done it so many times. Ironically, I'm not that sick of the Neo version of it, because they don't tie it to the rest of the worldview. They're just like, you have like the special god sword or whatever. But in the case of From Software, the problem is that it limits the kind of video game world that you get to play in every time, because they have to make it like all dark and dreary because all the undead are coming back to life, or people can't die, or whatever fucking reason. So it actually limits the tone of the series, which makes the whole thing way more boring. Record of Lodoss War had some basic and equally well done designs, designed with purpose, you know? I will say this, I complain a lot about Warhammer and World of Warcraft pauldron sizes, and I never complain about stuff like other 90s properties, but Record of Lodoss War pauldron sizes are even larger than Warcraft and Warhammer. Fucking look at that shit, my god. The pauldrons are approximately 2.5 head sizes for Deedlit. Just insane giga pauldrons. Is this a scene in which Deedlit is looking... Oh, is this the Deedlit getting cucked scene? I love it when elves look disappointed and sad. Look how fucking large the pauldrons are, though. The chocolate elf doesn't have pauldrons. She has, like, minor pauldrons. Chocolate is better than vanilla in Record of Lodoss War, but... Look at those ears moving. God, if I had an elf wife, I'd fucking play with her ears all the time. I just rub those ears from base to tip. I just massage the shit out of those elf ears. And she'd be like, honey, please stop touching my ears. They're very sensitive. And I'd be like, baby, these are my ears now. You belong to me. I'm gonna massage the shit out of your ears. Elves are built for psychological torture and cucking and stuff like that, but they're also built for wholesome ear massages. Elf appreciators understand this. It's the first anime elf, and it's still somehow where they peaked. Part of that is because of the art style of the time. I feel is a really good representative of the good parts of elf anatomy. So if you look at like the images of Deedlit, here's a good shot of her. The art style of the time, the way that they would abbreviate shapes and stuff, like this really strong triangles and these really strong diagonal lines that are created by the ears and stuff, and the really long eyes, these go really well with the elf anatomy and like the general art style to create a cohesive whole in a way that the current art styles, like if we think about it, like current anime, like everything in terms of like broad shapes It's like round, right? Round head. Look at Bochi-chan, for example. It's like round head, round eyes. Here's Bochi-chan, right? As she's losing her mind because she has to talk to someone. It's like circle, 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 right? But like back in the day, it was like you had like these fucking triangle forms with their super strong pauldrons and like a very strong square form. And then like the face drawing style would be like really sharp jaw, chin, chin, spiky hair that's like uneven. It would be like flat on this side and then spiky on one side. Sharp nose. Long ass ears and long ass eyes, right? This is the Deedlit versus Bochi comparison. And these triangle shapes are good with the elf anatomy because the ears are also triangle shapes, right? The sort of spikiness of everything, it somehow helps the design as a whole. If you want to make Bochi into elf and give her like these spiky ears, like you could say that the contrast works, but I don't think it would work with the character designs and stuff, you know? It's just a different era. Osaka. Osaka also a very round character. Old school style was nice. Would be cool if we had more manga anime like that. The problem was, at that time, there was a lot of stuff like that, and now there's a lot of stuff like this. And it's not like you get one or the other. Like, you always get, like, them all at the same time, because you have to train animators to draw in a specific style. So, if, like, they're like, we need to draw 90s Lotus War style drawings now in 2025, it'd be really hard to, like, just be able to do it, you know? I miss Westoid art style that involved from badly copying this hairstyle. You mean, like, my best-selling book, How to Draw Anime. Damn, I'm so good at drawing. Holy fuck. We did it, guys. We had created a best-selling Western anime-style comic in the year 2000. Everything is too fancy, it should look like Shin-chan. The funny thing is that the Shin-chan movies have like insane levels of animation, which is actually easier to do because it's so simplified. Characters like Morgan Ainsland don't work out of the 90s because her sharp eyes and volumetric hair are what make her deadly and sexy design work. You have no idea how many hours I have trying to get the Morgan hair right, and I can never seem to like truly capture the essence of Marvel vs. Capcom 1 Morgan. All fan art with Morgan having the standard cat round eyes. So Morgan looks different in every single artwork of every single one of her video games. But I like Morgan the best when her eyes are kind of like this. Like they're almost a little bit flat. And they're very like understated. They're like about like this much. It's so hard to draw Morgan. Also, they're always like half closed. There we go. That's a good like fuck me eye. The point of Morgan's eyes is that they have to be like saying it's time to fuck me now at all times. She literally only makes expressions that are supposed to convey that you need to fuck her right now. That's the whole point. You should always be making a facial expression like this. Mega Tokyo is still going on. Dude makes like a page every 3 months. God, I wish I was allowed to produce at that speed. Dude is like saving the Japanese manga industry by example. Who is supporting him? I guess there's still people who buy the Mega Tokyo volumes. Alright guys, I'm gonna end the stream here. We don't need to save this. Maybe we can save this. We'll erase the Mega Tokyo so it's not too slanderous. See you guys. I'll continue working on the difficult parts, which I have been running away from.